Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of factoring trinomials. This is standard A.10E in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 49 off the 2016 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a trinomial. That prefix tri means 3, so it's an expression that's got 3 terms here. And this is in our form that we need it here, this ax squared plus bx plus c. So if we want to find factors of this trinomial here, and we have it in the ax squared plus bx plus c form, that lets us find the a term, the b term, and the c term, and these are just the coefficients here. So a is going to be right in front of that x squared. There's not really anything there, so we'll just call that a 1. Now this b, it's a plus b. So I've got a negative 5, so we're going to call that a negative 5 right there. And then that plus c lets me know this is a negative 6. All right, so these are my 3 terms. Now, since this a is 1, right, that leading coefficient in 1, you might be able to do this without the diamond method. I'm going to go ahead and show you the full diamond method, just because that's a strategy that works in these more simple expressions, or if your leading coefficient is something other than 1, right? So it's 2x squared, 3x squared, 10x squared. That's where the diamond method really becomes helpful. It's not the only way to solve it, but it is one that is fast and efficient. So we'll go ahead and do the full diamond method, even though some of you might be able to eyeball this, since that leading coefficient is just 1. So what do we do in the top here? Well, we are going to multiply a times c and put that up in the top. So a is 1, c is negative 6. All right, so we're just going to put a big negative 6 up there. And then we're simply going to write b down at the bottom. So b is going to be negative 5. So here is our challenge, is we are going to need to find the factors, because in order to solve this over here on the left, we need ax over the factors. We need the same thing over here. So a is 1, so I'm just going to write x over, and then my factors are going to be the factors that multiply, put a dot right there, to negative 6, and then add to negative 5. So let's just take 6. Since it's negative, we know one of my factors is going to have to be positive, one is going to have to be negative. Okay, so I can multiply to 6, 1 and 6, 2 and 3. So how do I get to this negative 6? Well, I mean, if I multiply 2 times 3, right, so 2 times 3 will give me 6, and I could do negative 2 plus negative 3, that'd give me negative 5, which that's good, but the problem is if I multiplied negative 2 times negative 3, the two negatives would cancel out. That would give me a positive 6. So it's not going to work with these two. So this is the tricky part of the diamond method. You have to kind of play with the factors. So I need a negative 6, so what if I did 6 times, and then I made that a negative? Right, negative 1. Okay, so that's going to give me negative 6. That's good. Then I did 6 plus negative 1, or really 6 minus 1. Well, that would get me 5. Not quite what I'm looking for, so what if I flipped? What if I made it negative 6 times a positive 1? Okay, so we're still playing with it. And then negative 6 plus 1. There we go. All right, so it's going to be the negative 6 plus 1. That's what's finally going to get there. So those are my 2 factors. So I'm just going to write negative 6, and I'm going to write a 1. Now, the reason we write it as a fraction is if there's a leading coefficient, you would end up simplifying. There's not, so those are your 2 factors. It's going to be x, and then minus 6, your denominator goes there, and then x, and then your denominator goes there. So x minus 6, x plus 1. We see one of our options right there. So my answer is A.